Guys, in this video, I want to talk about, I believe, one of the most important things when you're building apps. This is literally the difference between building something that could really become successful and you can scale and something that literally dies because I believe it's almost impossible to create a successful app without real feedback, okay? Without knowing what your customers, even a service, I mean, you cannot create a successful service, or you cannot deliver the service in a successful way if you don't have feedback from your clients. The same happens when you're building apps. So in this video, I want to talk about why opinions are not real feedback and what you should do instead. If it's the first time that you are watching my videos, my name is Justo. I'm in a process of creating 12 apps in 1 year, and I recently launched the 5th app. Now I'm about to launch the 6th one, and I created a process that lets me test applications in just a couple of weeks so I can start building apps that are aligned with my audience and with the customer needs, which, by the way, is the only way to create a successful app. Okay, so why validation is not collecting opinions, but it's finding a signal you cannot ignore. If you already sell services, consulting, or solve real problem manually, you're usually not starting from zero. You're not guessing blindly. I mean, you're not someone that doesn't know anything, okay, about building a successful product. But probably you heard things like, this makes sense, I would use something like this, there is definitely a need. But when it comes to decide what to build, what to cut, whether to keep going or stop, there is no real clarity. And the reason why I can talk about this is because I already went through this, okay? I mean, I was literally in this situation when I was building my first app. Most validation processes are not designed to produce a clear conclusion. Historically, in any context where resources were limited, time, money, energy, decisions were not being made when everyone agreed. They were made when a signal appeared that reduced ambiguity enough to act. And today, we often replace that with opinions. But opinions are weak foundations for decisions, and I will explain you why, okay? First of all, because opinions are contextual, change depending on how you ask, and don't require commitment. They are useful to understand language and framing. They are not enough to decide direction, okay? Because most of those opinions came from, or usually come from, people that are not from your target audience, okay? This is very common. I mean, you want to build something and you start asking your friends if they think it's good or not, but that doesn't really help you. And it's not my goal to discourage you, but I'm 100% real. I mean, I'm 100% honest because it's the only way to help you. If you pay attention to history, in e-commerce, engineering, or even applied science, progress didn't come from asking what people thought. It came from observing what people did when something actually mattered, okay? When validation relies on opinions, feedback becomes interpretable in multiple ways, founder projects meaning onto our weak signals, and uncertainty doesn't decrease, okay? It just changes shape. That's exactly why people keep building, adjusting, refining without knowing why. So, what you should avoid is, first of all, is accumulating feedback expecting clarity to emerge, okay? More information doesn't always lead to better decisions. In fact, clarity usually comes from subtraction, okay? And this is one of the things I learned on the Hacking Growth book. Good validation doesn't give you more options. It removes most of them because it's all about finding the right tool or the right feature to solve the customer problem, okay? And the thing is that, when you ask for an opinion, most people don't want to discourage you. They don't want to, conflict. They don't want to sound negative. So they respond in a socially correct way. Historically, strong signals were rarely comfortable or polite. So don't use validation to feel ready. Validation is not a checkpoint you pass before building. It's a tool to decide whether building makes sense at all or not. So what to do instead? First of all, shift the idea of validation. The goal is not to see if people like the idea. The goal is to see whether something happens without you pushing it. By the way, if you want me to help you one-on-one building an app, the only thing that you need to do is book a call in the comment section, and I will turn your idea into a working software as a service in just a couple of weeks. Now, I let you continue with the video. Across time, reliable signals tend to share three traits, okay? They are hard to interpret in multiple ways. They involve something real, cost, or commitment, and they force a decision, not a discussion, okay? The second thing is observe behavior before refining the message. A common mistake is to keep improving the explanation, clearer copy, better pitch, or more context, hoping that now the feedback will be clearer. But clarity comes from explaining better. It comes from watching what people do when you stop guiding them. So how can you validate in the correct way? First of all, before thinking about software as a service, MVPs, or whatever, put your attention into understanding the problem. When it appears, why it persists, what people tried before, and what it costs if unsolved. Then face a real situation, okay? A choice, a commitment, a small but concrete sacrifice like paying for a pre-sale or having a special access to the app, whatever you want. And finally, ask yourself, does this reduce friction? Does this save real time? Does this justify money now? When construction tries to answer many questions at once, signals get diluted. So go one by one. So in conclusion, what I would recommend you to do is instead of asking random people for feedback, try to drive traffic to your landing page from people of your target audience. And once you start getting users for your app, start making questions, start asking questions that really help you understand if your users are getting value or not. Now, feedback is not enough. You need to combine feedback with metrics. And in that way, I believe you will be 10 steps further and you will be able to create a more aligned product. Thank you very much for watching. Once again, if you want me to help you one-on-one building an app, the only thing that you need to do is book a call with me. I will leave you the link on the comments section. You can subscribe and hit the like button, and I hope to see you on the next video.